Good morning, YouTube. Louie here with the best silver gold deals of Saturday, July 19th, 2025. Let's rock. Okay, we have got gold. Finished the day yesterday up $9, had been higher, 33.47. And silver up only 4 cents, 38.11, but had been much higher as well and got pummeled a little bit during the day. We see aftermarket prices spiking, and then during the sessions, a lot of downward pressure. But notice how it's still handily in the 38s, nowhere near the $37 support. I think it goes higher. Silver futures 38.42 against a spot price of 38.11, so about a 30 cent differential between spot and futures. Gold silver ratio 87.74, and if you want to take a longer view chart of that, you can see where we might be headed. We could be headed back down to 75, 65, but the trend is clearly downward at this point. Copper prices in the commodity market, we watch commodities because it gives us a clue where the industrial side of silver is pushing us, and silver is more commodity than it is monetary metal. And that's actually what's driving the price here. You know, us stackers, we are the tail on the dog. We're not driving this market. We're not buying enough to move the market here, but the industrial demand and short supply is definitely driving the market. And you can see that in the copper market. Now, you can say some of that is a tariff story, and I think it is. But, you know, those tariff stories, the 50% tariff that is going to be imposed on copper, they do wear off. And notice how the copper tariff story is not wearing off. Copper having broke through $5, oh gosh, quite a while ago, is handily at 560 now, and could be headed higher as well, as could all commodities. So I think that tells you that silver, the commodity, is moving higher. That's just my thought on that. If you want to watch platinum, well, platinum, the commodity used in the auto industry, 1421. Who would have thunk it? And I guess a little more upside there. Could be 15, 1550, could be 1650. But I would not put my chips on platinum here personally. And my DBB fund, which I told you a couple weeks ago, I picked up a commodities fund. This is metal commodities, and this would have aluminum, zinc, lead, copper, etc. Look at that price spike. Finally, it came through. 1963, up from about, I think I picked it up at about 1911. So there is a nice move in commodities. This story is not over. We have a long way to run in commodities. And as I told you the other day, I think the tariff story is a way to bring mining and production of commodities and rare earths, etc., back to the United States. I see no reason why we would want to increase the price of commodities when we import so much of it in the United States. So I think it's a way of equalizing U.S. competitiveness. And I think Trump wants higher commodity prices, and I think that includes silver as well, although they'll never mention silver by name. If you take a long-term chart on commodities, let's see how far we can go. All right, back in 2022, this particular index was at 24, so that is a solid 25-30% from here. Yeah, I think we could easily go there, and I think we could go higher. I don't know if it's ever been higher. No, it looks like this will cap out by 24, but imagine a 25% increase in silver, and then you're gonna have your $50 silver, and that may be weeks, months, I don't know, could be a year, but I think first that we push up to 40, we break through 40. Probably by November, low 40s, maybe 45, and then we start noodling on 50. But I think from the 40s to 50 could be a longer run, but I don't know. And then there's always the chance we break right through 50 and go to 80. That's my thought at the moment. I don't know the timing on that, but I think the direction is up, and I think the downside risk is really minimal in compared to the upside potential. All right, we get into the bond market, and now we're talking about the Federal Reserve and whether Powell will get fired, whether Trump has the authority to fire him, whether there is fraud on Powell's part in initiating a $2 billion renovation of the Eccles building. All I'll say is bullshit. Okay, just tune that out completely. Trump is not going to fire Powell. Trump doesn't have the authority or the power to fire Powell. Powell ain't going to quit. And Powell is the only thing holding us right now from rapidly spiking 10-year bond yields. When the 10-year bond yields spike, and I think they will no matter what Powell does, the wheels fall off the bus and we go into deep recession. And the government cannot finance its looming deficit and debt unless we sell all bonds on the short end, and then the long end will just explode because it is a farce. Okay, just like going back to the gold standard formally is a farce. $12,000 gold predictions is a farce. These things are not going to happen. Gold is not going to get revalued above its current value. And I think gold will get revalued to its current value in the, by the government. And then we'll pick up $1 trillion or whatever, totally meaningless revaluation. I do think they could issue gold-backed bonds. And that could take a little pressure off the 10-year as people move to gold-backed bonds, which may or may not be redeemable in gold. That could also be a farce. And there's been no audit of the Federal Reserve, so we have no idea how much gold the United States actually holds. I mean, if they revalue gold, China will become the most powerful country in the world with all the gold they've been stocking publicly and privately. So tune it out. Just tune out this, stuff. In 7 days, gold will be revalued, and an ounce of gold will buy you a house, and 500 ounces of silver will let you retire. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is just garbage. These predictions are garbage. What we're looking for is slow, steady moves in the precious metals market while the world falls apart. And the world is going to fall apart. I can't say when it's going to happen, but, at some point it's going to fall apart. More likely, a slow, steady drag into stagflation. Stagflation is not good for the stock market, but it is good for the precious metals market. And that's where I'm going to put my chips right now. Stagflation. Higher bond yields, long bond yields in the future, and higher metals prices and lower stock market prices. But don't short the stock market. That does not work out well. Okay, let's go on to the dollar, and the dollar is off 0.16 to 98.46. I think it failed on its counter trend rally here. I think it'll be going lower unless that 10-year bond yield perks up, and then we could see it pump back to 110. But more likely in the short term, seems like it's going to fall back a little bit here. And of course, a lower dollar is good for precious metals. A higher dollar, not good for precious metals. But there's been a decoupling somewhat of that inverse relationship lately. And you can see the dollar going up, and you can see gold going up. And actually, Bitcoin has decoupled as well. So everything's moving in its own rotation here. All right, moving on here. Of course, all of this is just my opinion. You can have your own opinion. I suggest you go get several, but don't get too deep into the fantasies. All right, let's go. And on Monday, we have U.S. leading economic indicators. On Tuesday, Fed Chair Powell has opening remarks at the banking conference. And what will he say? I don't know. I think he'd say he's being cautious. You start dropping rates, people are going to think the economy is stalling, and there's no hard evidence of a weakening labor market. There's some soft evidence, and there is some cracks, and I do think the labor market will weaken, but it hasn't yet. And so I think he tries to hold tight. If he gives us a quarter-point rate cut, we could see a blow-off top in the stock market and then start our journey down. Wednesday, existing home sales. Thursday, initial jobless claims. So we'll have to see if that comes in on target again. They're predicting an increase of 8,000 jobs lost. And we'll see that weakness could, if there is weakness there that is actually reflected in the statistics, not just in the news headlines, then we could see that quarter point rate cut. So I could see metals rallying all the way into Thursday, no problem here. All right, we're on the website, bestsilvergolddeals.com. You can go over there and join the website. It's all totally free, and you can click along on these links and see how the prices change. Of course, the prices are fixed over the weekend until Sunday night. So we got a lot of time to think about whether you want to buy silver or gold. And if you don't have any, you may want to get on that. The question of the day. All right, let's get to the question of the day, and it's going to be a choice. 1, 2, or 3. I'm just going to skip ahead to the U.S. Mint. All right, you may have you may not be focusing on this, but in the next few days, the Superman coin, the gold Superman coin, will be coming out. Silver Superman is overpriced and unlimited mintage, although I did pick some up, but it's a real wing and a prayer if that coin's going to do well. There's a lot of history of Superman coins flopping in the aftermarket, and the silver may be no different. But will you be interested in the gold? Now, they've got 10,000 of these, a household order limit of 1, which tells you there may be some demand for the gold coin. I suspect the price will be 2,200 or so. I could be totally wrong about that. If you know the actual price based on today's gold price, let me know. But will you be picking up the gold Superman coin? A hefty price on that with a 10,000 mintage limit and a household order limit of 1. And I don't think those will sell out on the first day, and may even take a few days, may take longer than that. Or will you be picking up the Sacagawea coin with a lower mintage limit of 7,500 and a household order limit of 1? Probably would be about the same price. I think they are both proofs. They ought to be identical prices, and maybe 2,200, maybe more. So there is Sacagawea, and I still remember going to the bank when that was initially released. What was it, in the 70s? Let's see if they tell us here. I won't get back to all the details, but I remember buying rolls of Sacagawea coins when I was a teenager, when they first came out, the dollars. They were not silver, as I recall, but took years and years for those to increase in value. And of course, they flopped as a dollar because they were too similar to the size of a quarter. But anyway, will you be picking up Sacagawea over Superman, or will you be picking up none of the above because it is overpriced gold? That is the question of the day. And now let's get on to the deals. Someone asked me if I thought gold would be moving up from here. And just to clarify my position, I think both gold and silver will be moving up from here, but silver will be moving in a more vertical trajectory. All right, let's move on to a 1/100th teeny little gold if you want to pick up this little dragon bar. $43 at SD Bullion for 1/100th gold. Very small, very expensive. 1 gram gold in assay, $124 from bullion.com, and the new customer deal is around spot at bullion.com. And 1/10th gold eagle can be had for $375, best price on the internet among the major dealers that I recommend. There are dealers with lower prices that have subscription deals and credit card deals and whatnot. I suggest you avoid those if you're just the average stacker. If you're a heavy hitter, then you may want to check out, some of the other companies like Bullion Standard. But for the average guy, we're finding the best deals we can for BU coins anywhere among the major dealers, and I've used almost all of them. Anyway, this is $375. That's $3,750 melt. When you take this bad boy back to your coin shop, he's going to pay you $3,400. He's going to pay you $340. You're going to lose a fortune on this particular coin, and I recommend if you stack these, you have got some other reason than profiting from your gold stack. You've got some other fetish for American gold coins, and this would not be the coin to buy. There can be a situation in the future when FOMO takes hold and gold premiums explode. This premium could go up to a point where you might get $350 back on your $370 investment. So the day you buy a 1/10 Gold Eagle is the day you lose money. There are better alternatives, and certainly the bigger Gold Eagles are a much better investment. Yeah, save up for those before you buy this if you need U.S. sovereign gold. I know I'll get some thumbs down on that, but that is my opinion, and nobody will tell you that. Okay, just check out the buy prices on 1/10 Gold Eagles, and you'll see the buy-sell spread is stupid large. All right, 1/10 Gold Maple, a little cheaper at $366 at Safe Haven Metals. You may want to consider the ducat, 0.11 something ounces of gold, 383. If you divide that out, you'll be right around the 3500s melt on that. Always get the melt price on fractional gold to know what you're really spending on fractional gold. Quarter ounce Eagle is a little better deal at 884. If you take 884 times 4 is 3536 melt. Now that's not so bad, right? So go for the quarter ounce over the 1/10 ounce if you have to have that Gold Eagle. Quarter ounce Krugerrand is going to be cheaper at 868 at bullion exchanges, and it is not pure gold. Neither is the Gold Eagle. Yeah, they're overweighted to give you the gold content, and this is foreign gold, which may have different tax consequences. All right, the 10 peso is not a bad deal as well. $5 U.S. commemorative is probably a pretty good alternative to a quarter ounce Gold Eagle. Your coin shop won't like them because nobody buys them, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy them. All the major dealers will buy them from you, probably at about 2% back a spot. So do the math on 830 over 0.241 ounces of gold. And beautiful gold, too, as well. These are typically not the ugly head coins I always refer to. These are beautiful coins, and I have purchased many of these, and I've easily sold them when I wanted to, which was always a mistake at this point. Okay, half ounce Gold Eagle is 1714, and this is a good deal over at Summit Metals. 34.28. That's a BU, a half ounce Gold Eagle. Save up if you want to buy a Gold Eagle, get the half ounce. The Maples and the Britannias are overpriced right now due to tariff wars, and you'll have to decide whether, I don't know why you would buy them right now. I just wouldn't. Half ounce gold Krugerrand is 1709, 34.18 melt. Not too bad on a half ounce Krugerrand. And a 1 ounce Gold Eagle is a smoking price at 33.85. We'll try to get better prices a little bit later in this video. All right, and the big proof gold set for you heavy hitters. Forget signing memberships and whatnot with big dealers. Just go over to bullion exchanges and pick up the 1.85 proof gold American Eagle 4-coin set. Do the math on that, and you'll see that is a ridiculously good deal for a ridiculously pretty coin, and doesn't cost you anything other than the gold. Okay, you don't get committed to any company. Okay, this is all my advice over years of doing everything wrong and then figuring it out. Don't commit to a single company. Don't develop a relationship with a single broker. Don't fall for the deals where they say they'll match any deal and then, just don't do it. Don't take phone calls from a guy that sounds like your grandpa trying to sell you the latest limited mintage slabbed modern numismatic. Just be mercenary about this. This is your money, your future. Get the best deal for the best coin. These coins are interchangeable in BU form, and there are some differences in the customer service at some of the companies, and that can be a hassle sometimes. But do the work and you'll get a better deal here, and shop around rather than commit to any one company. That's what they want you to do, and before you know it, they'll be pushing something on you that you shouldn't have bought. That's my opinion on that. Okay, lots of opinions today, but some people need to know this stuff. They're going to watch one Mike Maloney video and go to AppMex and spend way too much. Or worse yet, go to the Gold Bureau or anything that's advertised on TV. This morning, the Coin Shopping Network was selling boxes of pennies. Can you believe it? When you can go down to the bank and get $100 boxes of nickels for $100, they're charging $40 for a box of pennies on the Coin Shopping Network. Find a reliable source of truth and then be loyal to that source and listen to what they tell you, and then find somebody with the complete opposite opinion, and you can suss out the bullshit. Okay? You'll be able to do that when you see one person telling you something that sounds, like it's not going with the crowd, and then somebody who's going with the crowd, and you figure out what's true and what's not true. Okay, a BU gold maple is $33.93 at Safe Haven Metals. An AU maple is a pretty good price at bullion exchanges, $33.62. But why would you buy that when you can, for $30 more, you can get a BU Gold Eagle. But you may like that price. That is a right around spot. Walmart has some good deals as well. Just be sure they don't charge you sales tax. Okay, I'm going to skip the St. Gaudens today. The Krugerrand is $33.62, also at spot at bullion exchanges. Always look for BU in the title. If it doesn't say that, it probably is not that. It may not matter to your LCS. He's sending these to the smelter to melt them, and they're going to the central banks all around the world. The kilo gold bars, whatever, the 100-ounce gold bars. That's where all the gold is going. The central banks are amassing gold at a very high rate. And I heard recently, I can't prove it's true, but that pushing 25% of central bank reserves are now in gold. That is the reset. That is the change in the monetary system. That is the move away from the dollar into something that cannot be revoked or stolen by our stupid government. That is what's happening. Gold reserves are increasing at the central banks, and there is an implied, trustworthiness in that. At some point, gold reserves will probably move to 50%. That will naturally increase the price of gold. That will naturally diminish the value of the ever-shrinking dollar until there's a crisis in the world. And when there's a crisis of some kind, think the most horrible thing you can think of, the dollar will skyrocket because other foreign currencies will plummet and people will come back to the dollar. But the gold reset is happening in stealth mode at the central banks, and it doesn't require a single move by Scott Bessent or gold-backed bonds or any other revaluation technique. I mean, if the government wanted to destroy its credibility, they could mint a $30 trillion platinum coin and give it a face value of $30 trillion and sell that, and the deficit would be gone. If they did that, it would bring on worldwide depression. It would bring the stock market down 75%. It would send chaos throughout the world, and nobody would be buying your platinum for, $30 trillion. These talks about gold revaluation are just silly. But I do think we could see a gold-backed bond, which I wouldn't trust. And we're seeing some shenanigans with stable coins. And they're working around the edges to keep the bubble going up. But bubbles pop at some point. Why did I go into that? I'm sorry, guys. I see so much bullshit that I just have to say what I think. This is why I have a small channel, because I say what I think and people disagree with me. But you're just getting my opinion. All right, later, baby. SD Bullion has an ugly 20 franc. This will be a circulated Helvetia, so it'll be kind of ugly, but it's a beautiful coin. It's a great price at $6.27. Buy something like that all day long if you think gold is gold, and your buy-sell spread will be almost nil. Sovereigns are not a bad deal if you don't mind British gold. There's a gold at spot deal. I'll skip the gold at spot deals. Gold in assay, I actually forgot to check this morning, but it is $33.75. over at bullion exchanges, and just pick up the Gold Eagle before you get that gold bar. Better yet, go over to Costco. We'll be there in a minute. Silver Eagles, any quantity pricing at Monument Metals at 41.18. Do not ignore the Silver Eagles. Before you buy that 1/10 ounce Gold Eagle, be sure you have a big mess of Silver Eagles that hopefully you've bought between $2 and $3 over spot. This coin is going to run. Junk is going to run at some point here. Now, it may take silver over $40 to bring the average Joe back into the stacker market, but it's going to happen at some point here if we keep going up. If prices fall back, then people they'll just lose all faith, which stackers tend to do. But something is different this time. That's why my green light is on. Moving on to a maple. Let's see, where is, yeah, I told you about the 2 gold coins coming up. I will, just to give you my answer, I'll probably be buying the Sacagawea. I probably won't be buying the Superman. If you buy Superman, it'll be a quick, hot flip. Sacagawea could have legs. Mintage is pretty low on that. So it could make $1,000 on that coin, just depending. I could be wrong. BU Silver Maple 40.32 at bullion exchanges. A Kangaroo is 40.07. A little higher prices today, huh? A Britannia is 40.07 at bullion exchanges. A Krugerrand is even more, 40.34 at Monument Metals. And a Philharmonic, the unloved Philharmonic, is $39.87. Go ahead and pick that up. It won't hurt you. Okay, and if you got to buy at the dealer today, but we'll find better deals on eBay. Nothing new on the Army Privy Eagle. They got 3,000 left, and they're selling them one at a time. I'm a little surprised that it shows you how thin the collector market is, actually. Anybody that buys this for $105, is it $105? What is the price? For $105, $5 shipping. Use your PayPal credit card for this, by the way, save 3%. You can immediately sell it on eBay for $200 or more. Even with 10, 15% fees, you're making a solid $50, $75. It goes to show you how tuned out the collector market is on money in the bank. You can't be bothered with eBay. You're worried about it. You don't want to make an easy $50, $75. I don't know. I don't think like that. If I can pick up $50 or $75 on flipping a coin, I'll do it every day of the week and twice on Thursday. So, well, actually, I should have said Sunday. I don't know. I don't know why that's not selling out one at a time. I guess it also goes to show you that the dealers are the one picking up the excess inventory when they take off the mintage limit. And I agree with a member of the chat room that it is it's a good thing that they're doing. It's not good for me or for flippers or for dealers, but it's a good thing they're doing, letting the average Joe pick those up. Those are valuable coins in the long run with that Army Privy and 100,000 mintage. Okay, we're over at Costco now. And what do we got up today? The silver bar is $4.20, 10 ounces of silver. And let's see, the Indian bar is $34.09. Don't buy the big gold. You'll have a hard time getting rid of it. And the Rand bar is $34.09. And, ooh, they got the Arga Horaeus. This is a 10-gram pack at $1,200. Let's do the math on it. So the gold, the Eagles and the Buffaloes are gone. The Rand bar at $34.09 to be out the door under $3,300 with an Executive Club membership and a 2% rebate credit card. Rakuten does not work here. So that's a good deal. I like that little Rand bar. But let's look at the 10-gram. What is this? A 1 ounce? Oh, they got a 20-pack. No savings. Still going to be $42 an ounce. For the 20-pack of PAMP bars, 42, no savings there. Let's do the 10 gram. So let's see what that works out to. You may want to buy that. So you see what fractional gold is selling for in the aftermarket. Let's see how close to spot we can get this. So $1,200. I'm going to multiply this by 0.96, assuming that you have those the Executive Club membership and a 2% rebate credit card. That's $11.52 divided by 10. puts you at $115 a gram. Times 31.1, your melt on that will be 35.82. No, not good enough. I like the 25 packs better. That's not good enough for me to buy that. That is Costco. Let's keep rolling here. Junk in the trunk is still right around spot. That's the other thing you want to be buying right now, besides Silver Eagles. And I would get the deals on eBay. They're way cheaper than spot. You know when a dealer is selling junk at spot, you can get it cheaper somewhere else, don't you? Yeah, of course. All right, but that's not a bad deal. I would just go ahead and upgrade to the Mercs. If you got to shop at the dealers, go ahead and get the Mercs instead of the quarters. That is $37.60. As opposed to 37s. I'm sorry, let me do that math again. That is $27.60 as opposed to the quarter deal, which is $27.70. The Mercs are cheaper? When did that happen? Let me do this again. Is that $5 face? Mercs, they're going to have dates or send them back. I must be doing my math wrong. 138. 138.3 times 2 gives you 2760 on the Mercs. 2760 on my cheat sheet is about 38.40 or so. And spot is 38.11. What's going on here? Maybe that isn't the cheapest junk deal anymore. Did this go up? I'm going a little blurry-eyed here. It's very early in the morning. That is not at spot anymore. There may be a better deal out there, but maybe I can reset that to a better deal. And we'll be shopping on eBay in a minute to find junk much cheaper than that, which you should be buying. Okay, a roll of 20 random rounds will be $39.42 at bullion.com. Over at Golden State Mint, their sale of the day is still the Aztec round, and that is $39.56. Copper, $1.49. Is that for real? How much copper do you have to buy at $1.49? Oh, any quantity pricing. They finally brought the price down on copper. $1.49. Of course, it melts at 50 cents an ounce. But some people are stacking copper. I don't have anything against that. I just think you're going to have a hard time monetizing copper. I like the 10-ounce cast bar, and is that under $400? $397. I kind of like that deal over at Pinehurst. Hopefully they send you something cool. Let's do the goose is going to be $42. A kilo is going to be $1,200. Oh, out of stock. Oh my gosh, kilo's out of stock? Sorry, I got to reset that. All right, we're going to get over to eBay here and try to find some better deals. Okay, and you know what? It's not that, David Morgan, Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, these guys don't have some great videos from time to time. I think the Mike Maloney video about the cup and handle is the most compelling video he's done, and it points to just crazy high prices. That doesn't mean that will happen, but like a 30-year cup and handle is pretty compelling. But the gold revaluation video, not that good. Okay, Silver Eagles, let's try to find a deal there. And when you go here, I appreciate if you click the links on my website. That's what keeps me rolling, keeps funding the website, etc. Chat room, all that stuff. So click my links here, and that helps my channel if you're going to buy something. Let's try to find some cheap eagles. There's some culls at $40 an eagle, $39 out the door. There are some more culls at $41.20, about 40 and change out the door. Let's find some BU eagles. What do you say? Silvertown, and BU random. Whoa, $42.50. That'd be about $41.30 out the door. But what were the prices at the dealers? I don't think they were $41.30. Give me 1 second here. I lost my place. Let's go over to this and see what eagles are. They $41.30 for a big BU lot. I passed right by it. $41.30 versus BU eagles at 41.18. No, I stand corrected. Monument Metals has the better deal for BU Eagles. So eBay would basically be for the calls this morning. Let's go to a larger lot, see if we can get a better deal there. The calls were not a bad price, under 40. Let's see, you can get BUs at 42. Let's do the math on that. 42.06 times 0.97 is 40.79. Okay, so on a big lot there, you will beat Monument by about 40 cents an eagle if you're buying a bunch of them, and those are random date BU Eagles, and that's the Eagle story this morning. Let's keep going here. Let's do the rotation of Maples. Maples as cheap as 1,035. Britannia is as cheap as $9.95. I think those are blemished. No, wait a minute, maybe not. He'll take a best offer. Yeah, they look milky. So those are ugly maples. You might get those for spot if you make him an appropriate offer. And are they 4.9s? Let's see, right there. They are... I just don't recall. No, only 3.9s. And if you melt those, the silver, the spots do not impact the quality of the pour. So you could pick up some ugly Britannias there at a smoking price if you want to play that game. The next best price is 1,032. Let's keep going to kangaroos. Kangaroos are 1,045, and Krugerrands are 1,046. Oh my God! Well, let's just do 1,040 on the cheat sheet. And look at that, I'm off the chart again. Now you're going to be out the door at over 40 bucks on $38 silver. Well, gosh, we struck out there, didn't we? Maybe the Lonely Philharmonics will give us a shot here. Ah, there we go. I like that. Are they BU? Yes, they are. And they are 1.5 euros. Now, isn't that a silly denomination? 1.5 euros, like you couldn't go to 2? What are they thinking here? I don't know what the thinking is there on 1.5 euros. But nobody says I stack Philharmonics, you know, unless you're over in Europe, and then you'd pay so much more for this coin, it would be ridiculous, because they got all kinds of taxes on their precious metals, and you know what? They stack them anyway. Now, at some point, if Trump continues with this tariff nonsense, which is very akin to a value-added tax, no, yeah, it is, maybe not a full-blown value-added tax, but to the extent that the supplier can't eat the tariff, and they won't do that for very long, it's a value-added tax on everything you buy. If he applies that to copper, you can see why prices will go up in America, and you won't buy something with a value-added tax from a foreign country. You'll buy it at the same or lower prices in America. When everything around the world is more expensive, prices here will rise. Inflation will rise. This tariff story is a stagflation story, and it is a buy your precious metals now, damn it, story. Okay, that's what's changing in the world. And at 8.23, you're at 41.15. You'll be at 40 bucks or less out the door. So $2 premium from a good seller, good feedback on a Philharmonic, which are random date, and if they send you spotted Philharmonics, complain to eBay. You actually have a much greater chance of a return on eBay than you have buying directly from their website. They can tell you to pound sand, complain to the Better Business Bureau. Believe me, I've been there, I've done that. You'll be surprised how quickly Grandpa turns into a hard ass when you try to return something to any of the major dealers. On eBay, they back the buyer. Okay, eBay is the better place to buy things from reputable sellers, not from Chinese sellers, people with zero feedback, etc. Okay, let's try to find some junk here. I think the Philharmonics were pretty decent. We want $10 face, and here we go, $267 or best offer. I love you, gnarly stuff. 3,800 is the number of feedbacks, 100% positive. $5 shipping puts you at $272. So this guy will take a best offer, all right? Let's say we get these at $2.65 with shipping. Then let's say we use our PayPal credit card or our American Express everyday cash card checkout through PayPal and get 3% off times 0.97. All right, that's the out the door price after your cash rebate. 25.7 times face. Okay, 25.7 times face. You want to know the melt on that? Divide by 0.715 so you don't have to go to my cheat sheet. And you are out the door at $36 silver. God, that is too cheap. Let's see, 90% Washington quarters, roll of 40 at $2.67. How many you got? Only one. I can't buy this stuff because my sales tax limit is $2,000, but you certainly can. Doesn't look like a scam, doesn't look like anything other than a mispriced deal at 267 with the dealers in the 270s without the 3% rebate. That's how you buy junk right there. Okay, and let's try to find another one. Wow, what else you got? You see, the next best deal is $12 more. Oh, and these are Kennedy half dollars. Okay, even this deal is going to be cheaper than the dealers, $2.79. Out the door is going to be about 27 times face, which I think beats the dealers, and you get beautiful Kennedy halves. Make sure they're 64 and prior when you get those. That's a good deal as well. Not as good as that first deal, though. And 272. What is there? There's $7 shipping on this. These are just plain old ugly quarters. So clean out this guy here first. He's underpriced his stuff. Okay, let's go to a big lot of junk. And in a big lot, oh, there's another good one. AKA Constitutional. This is the Love That Coin Guy store. $27.15. $100 face quarters. Do they have dates? Oh, show us a picture. You're working pretty hard at not showing the dates. Yeah, they look like they have dates. Yeah, that looks pretty righteous. $27.15 here, 75 cents off. Call it 80 cents off. You'd be at about $26.25 times face. That'll be well under melt there. If you want a big lot, he's only got one left. And they're just quarters, but they're very cheap. Next best deal is $27.87 from a big dealer. And while I prefer dimes over quarters, this guy here has got the best deal. Good feedback, big seller, and that looks righteous. You get half dollars for 28. You get Benjis for 28. You get Walkers for 28. Can we get Mercs? You can get Mercs for $28.30. If you want to upscale to Mercs, those can carry a premium. Make sure they have dates. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Getting tired here. All right, moving on. And before I forget, if you're not buying today, this would be a great day. It's a Saturday. You might have time. Inventory your precious metals. Make sure you know your quantity, your values. Divide your precious metals into segments that you can put in different places. Disperse your precious metals so you're not robbed. And if you are robbed, they only get one or something of what you have. Okay, inventory, disperse, and disguise and hide. All right, let's move on here. And of course, you can buy the Carson Cities and the Morgans. I like those in the numismatic category. Cheapest kilo. Well, I didn't have any for you at the dealers, but today you can pick up a kilo, secondary market kilo, for $12.75. And it looks like it'll be beat up and pushed around. $12.75 after 3% rebate, you'd be $12.40 or so on that kilo. Divide that by 32 to get the melt on those kilos if you're just buying big gold. The bar of the day, this is interesting, $3.87 for one, $3.83 for 100. Take your 3% off as well with those good credit cards. So you'd be, well, let's see, 3%, that'd be like that'd be $10 off. Maybe 11, you'd be at about 387 minus 376. What is going on with this pricing here? Oh, it's out of stock. Oh, I didn't see that. Doggone it. They got me. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, shoot. I hate it when that happens. They got me. They got me. Thought it was a good one. Okay, let's do a lot of 1 ounce rounds. How cheap can we get those? About 38 out the door for secondary market rounds in a big lot. In a small lot, you can get those at about 39 out the door in a smaller lot. Not bad deals on 1 ounce rounds there. So the big lot is the better deal, and there's nothing wrong with circulated rounds. Sometimes they'll sell you something cool, like I buy those all the time. And the ones that are spotted or ugly, I can melt into a bar or something. And then the ones that are nice, I can put into a tube as nice silver rounds. And then there's usually a couple of rounds in there, that are very interesting. Old trade units. Could be some valuable stuff sometimes in those secondary market rounds. So I like that. Let's do the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are going for 41.25, about $40 out the door for the Scottsdale Cowboy. 100-ounce bar as cheap as nobody will buy the Strickland. Okay, nobody wants it. 3,900. You'd be out the door under 38. Under spot for 100-ounce authentic vintage silver bar. This guy would probably take an offer on this. He hasn't been able to sell it. So there's a way to get silver under spot. Now, if you buy that for 3,800, you get your $100 off with a credit card. You're in it at 3,700. Dealers are paying 98% of spot, so 38 times 0.98. You probably sell it for $37.24. You probably make money on that bar the day you buy it. Okay, moving on, and we'll get to gold here. I don't even know if I should check the Platinum Eagle. 1684 for Platinum Eagles now. Let's see. 1 gram of gold is as cheap as, oh, don't pass it, 120. And then minus $4, be about 116 for a gram of gold. That will probably not be an assay. Here's a Geiger gram. Oh, isn't that pretty? Somebody, see, these are these packs that Costco used to sell. You break them out of the pack. Here this guy is charging 124, which would be, oh my God, what is 124 times 31? 124 times 31. That is a melt of $3,800 actually, but to you it'd be more like 37. But that's what they do. They buy these in the multi-packs, they break them up and they sell them. All right, just so you know. Nothing wrong with that though, it just won't be an assay. 1/10 gold as cheap as $354. Are you for real? You are a small seller with fair feedback. You decide if you want to take a poke at that. Otherwise, you're paying $361. Well, actually, the $354 was BU. Might be a real deal there if you want a 1/10 gold Britannia. Otherwise, you're into the random design gold coins, probably circulated at $361. Let's keep going here. And a 1/4 ounce of gold. How cheap can we get that? I don't think you want the gold grain, but here you have a random design gold coin. Big seller, good feedback, and that is going to likely be circulated. So $881, and then on that you would take about $30 off. You'd be around $850 for a 1/4 ounce of gold. $850 times 4 is going to be 3,400 melt. Not bad for small gold. Okay, and you can get a Krugerrand here, and that is a probably not a BU. And some of these sellers like BGASC, they won't tell you what you're buying. Good luck finding it. Yeah. Random years. Inside a plastic flip, which means nothing. Likely going to be circulated, but that if it's BU, that'd be a pretty good price on that. Or here are some other any condition coins. Anyway, the Krugerrand is interesting. The random coins are interesting. If you need small gold, let's go up to a 1/4 ounce gold eagle, and we can get those as cheap as $894 minus rebates. I can't believe nobody bought this deal on the gold eagles. on the proof gold eagle. Let's see, or maybe they did. Just here it is, 34.98. This is a proof gold eagle, 34.98. Puts you out the door at about 33.95 or so for a proof gold eagle. Is that the one I showed you yesterday? I can't recall. Anyway, cheapest gold eagle looks to be about 34.96. I'd get the proof over the BU with that price differential. Let's do random half ounce gold. There was a good one yesterday. I forget what it was. I thought it was a gold eagle. Maybe it was a buffalo. You know what? I think it was a buffalo. And random half ounce gold, something we can trust, is gonna be ugly head coin for spouse. We'll skip those just because I don't like them. You can get a random mint half ounce gold coin, and they will likely be circulated. They don't say BU in the title. 1771 out the door would be about $50 off. Yeah, about $50 off. It'd be about $17.20. $34.40 melt on any of those. You'll probably get the panda. Nobody wants them. All right, let's go on to that buffalo. I think that buffalo was the nice deal yesterday. $34.94 for a sealed buffalo. $35.50. BU 35.46. The proof is gone. Yeah, it was a proof gold buffalo. Let's check the cheapest buffalo here. Too bad none of you told me you picked it up, so I don't think you did. This is a gold buffalo, mid-sized seller. I don't think I would bite that expensive of a deal. Here's another seller. He'll take a best offer. This is a zero feedback seller. That's a no-go. You're going to have to pay $35.46, which puts you out the door at about $34.30. Unless you really want to take a chance on this guy here at $3.39 with 99% feedback. Oh, he's got $20 shipping, so $35.15 puts you out the door at $3,400. I don't think it's worth it. That proof gold buffalo yesterday, man, that was really sweet. How about a commemorative? Let's go cheap here. And was that 3-coin set gone? Nope, still here at $8.49. All right, the cheapest deal here is not in stock. BGASC. Tempting you there with a big nothing. $8.49. This is a decent deal. A small seller though, but looks like a reasonable commemorative. I've had those before, and that would be a good deal if you want to trust that seller. I can't recommend it because I just can't. Let's see, and this 2-coin set is a good deal at $8.49. You get a $30 silver dollar thrown in the mix. And yeah, $15 shipping. Let's just see what that works out to. 850, 864, 864, and then times 0.97 with your good credit card. That'd be $838. We're going to subtract $30 for that silver dollar, minus $30. It's not a full ounce of silver. You'd be 808 on your commemorative. Then we're going to divide that by 0.241 to get the melt on the remaining gold value. 33.50, guys. So you'll be right around spot on the gold commemorative, U.S. gold commemorative. That's a good deal there. I used to shop for those all the time, those 2- and 3-coin sets. So that's why that's a good deal. There's value in the silver dollar. And I got a tube of those I've picked up over the years. Let's see, a 20 franc as cheap as, where's a real 20 franc? Call it $6.60. That is average circulated. That would be about $6.40 out the door for a rooster. Okay, you can do the math on that. And on the Big Daddy 50 peso, 41.83. That is going to be a AUBU. And when you do the division on 1.2 ounces of gold, you'll see that's a good deal if you're buying big gold. But if I was spending that much on gold, I'd add a couple $1,000s and pick up one of these guys here. Where'd it go? Oh, where'd it go? Where's my 3-coin set? Here it is. This is the 4-coin U.S. Mint set. Oh, look, they dropped the price. Oh, it's an auction for 63.01. Now, get in that auction. It ends in 4 days. If you can pick that up under 6,400, you'll be doing really good with that. Or this one is 65.88 for a Proof Eagle set with OGP. And after rebates, that's about a push with the dealer price. But I would pick that up over the 50 peso personally, but the 50 peso is very nice as well. Let's see what else we got. Got stuff in my eBay store. If you want, ask me for a friend discount. The bars I pour. I'll have something new in August. All right, but by then, I don't know, silver could be 40 bucks. Let's see, Precious Metals Verifier. This is the old style one. It'll be cheap. May not have all the bells and whistles, but it's pretty good. There's a vacuum sealer. If you're going to buy silver, you may want to vacuum seal it. And a way to refine your bars. Here's that Amex card I like, the everyday cash card from Amex. They're going to pay you money when you use it, 3% cash back up to $6,000. And it works on eBay when you check out through PayPal. Try something small. Make sure it works before you buy $6,000 worth of gold with it. But just make sure it works. PayPal is unlimited. That definitely works. When you check out through PayPal and default to your PayPal credit card. That's how we get 3% cash back here. And it doesn't work for me because they flagged me as a business account. So if they flag you, then that ain't going to work. You're going to need a different credit card. Capital One is 1.5% cash back. Saver Card is another great card I highly recommend. And the pick of the day we'll skip. And we'll just go on to the salutations and commendations. Thank you very much for tagging along here. And a thumbs up if you might do that. Subscribe if you want to see more. Share with your friends on social media, etc. If you want to see the channel grow. And if you can tolerate my very opinionated opinions, then I appreciate you. If you can't, then put it in the comments. That's fine. All right, and don't forget your boxes of nickels, guys. Why are you paying big money for zinc pennies when you can pick up old unsorted boxes of nickels? There's the ones from the U.S. Mint, which are really hard to get. Then there's the ones that are the customer returns that the bank rolls. But that is going to be a time capsule of nothing but money, those $100 boxes of nickels. And that's a 10-year hold, okay? Can you tolerate a 10-year hold, or do you need immediate gratification? Anyway, and they sell already at a premium on eBay. So anyway, you can support my work with cups of coffee, or you can join the membership channel to be in the inner circle, and you will see that link at the top of the description box below. Thank you very much for tagging along. I do appreciate you, and I hope you have a good luck today shopping for silver and gold, or whatever your heart desires. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.